friends, welcome to Cow. It's just me today, Miss Sarah. Let's get started with a prayer. Dear God, we thank you for this week, for fun things like fireworks, and for time together to learn more about you. Open our hearts and minds that we may know you a little bit better. Amen. So, like I said, it's just little old me this week. Miss Tina's on vacation with her family. And next week, Darlin and I are going on vacation. Yay! Very excited. And while we're on vacation, Miss Tina has another one of her super secret missions. So there won't be any cow next week. I know, we're a little bit sad about that. We'll miss you, but rest is really important. It also means, though, that all the other people that help us make Cow happen every week, our tech wizard, Mr. Ben, who puts in stuff for us and makes sure we get online on time, he gets a week off. And our beautiful singing and dancing ladies, Miss Amy and Miss Nancy, they get a week off. And Miss Sheila, our musical genius, who finds us the best songs, right? We get great songs. She gets a week off too, kind of. She's still picking songs for a big church, but she gets a part of the week off, right? So, we all get to rest. Now, what do you think Darlin really needs for a vacation? Because she told me she's packed. She's got a couple bags here. We're going to the beach. So what does she look like so far? She's got a hat. She's got sunglasses. The light might be a little extra. But those are good ideas for the beach, right? A hat to help keep you from the sunburn. Sunglasses so the sun doesn't hurt your eyes. Those are probably good ideas. Let's just double check what she has packed. So I'm a little nervous. I don't know what a cow really needs at the beach. Can you guys help me out? Okay. So the purple bag, she says this is her beach bag. I get it, my back hurts when I carry stuff on one shoulder, so yeah. So she's got a water bottle. Do you guys know how a cow would use a water bottle? I mean, hydration's important, right? Especially when it's hot. The sun's out like it would be to go to the beach. And she's got sunscreen. That's a good choice. Maybe on her nose. Cows have fur, right? Anyway, sunscreen and a water bottle. Bag for carrying. Good choices so far. Fishing pole. I mean, yeah, there's fish in the ocean. We might need a permit. I don't know if we'll have one of those. But fishing at the beach is fun. Let's see. There's nothing in this zipper. It's all back here. Okay. You guys can't hear her? I can hear her. Anyway. A beach towel, yeah, good choice. Dry off when you come in out of the water, makes sense. An extra hat, maybe one blows away. I'm gonna borrow your hat for a second, darling. Is this the last thing in here? No books, no Bible or anything? Okay, a blanket. She's got a beach blanket. You lay that on the sand and you don't get sand all over you. You're not laying out right on the hot sand. These seem like good ideas, darling. I think you packed some good things in here. I would take a book, some snacks, right? So that's good. Let's see what her suitcase has. It's not too heavy. Stylish bag. Not bad there, darling. this is where I get worried. I don't know if a cow knows how to dress for the beach. Do you guys? Let's see. Well, she's got her cuddlies. Her little snuggy animals. A baby cow, baby elephant. Good choices. I'm going to take my favorite stuffed animals. Toiletry bag. I don't know. Do cows brush their teeth, you guys? She's got a toothbrush and toothpaste already. We'll figure that out. Dental hygiene's important. Yes, but I don't know if cows brush their teeth. It's a scarf, shawl, wrappy thing. We're going to North Carolina in July. Now I guess the air conditioning gets cold, right? So there. If we go inside somewhere, air conditioning. But it doesn't get winter coat cold. Do you need a coat at the beach? No. You'd probably do better with some shorts and a bathing suit in here, darling, but you've tried. We'll work on that a little bit later. Yeah. And see what we can do with that later on today. I don't like putting stuffed animals inside the suitcase. They can't breathe in there. But that's just me and my overactive imagination. So why is Darlin going on vacation? She's been helping us every week for a really long time, for like a year or so. So she probably needs some rest, and she does all that modeling for our Facebook ads. So she's due for some rest. And rest is important. The Bible tells us so. In Genesis, God rested on the seventh day after he made the earth and the water and the trees and the fish and the birds and all of the animals and even you and me. And the fourth commandment, the fourth one of the 10 commandments, tells us take a day of no work. Spend time with God. Have Sabbath. So it must be important to rest, right? Jesus rested. There's several stories in the Bible where Jesus rests or tries to. A lot of times he'd go somewhere by himself to pray, just for a little bit of time. He'd just go off to the side to pray. Sometimes he'd take a couple of the disciples, sometimes they'd all go with him. Other times, they'd go out on a boat. Sounds like fun, right? Maybe they went fishing. Is that what you were thinking, darling? Being like Jesus a little bit? Maybe they just hung out and they talked and enjoyed each other's company, told some jokes and laughed. Many times, though, Jesus' rest got interrupted. So, we've been talking about Bible people we should know, right? This week's Bible person you should know? Maybe the most obvious one. Jesus! Right. And this is probably, it's my favorite story about Jesus resting. And then it gets interrupted. See what I did there? It's in 3 books of the Bible. It's in Matthew, Mark, and Luke. John doesn't bother telling us this story for some reason. And they all basically tell the same story. There's just little tiny details that are different each time. But that's what happens, right? If 3 people see something happen, they might all tell it a little bit differently because everybody notices different things. Somebody might notice the person was tall. Someone might notice they were wearing a blue shirt. Everybody sees things differently. So, here is our story. One evening, Jesus gathered up all the disciples. He says, let's go out in a boat. Remember, maybe at least 2 of the disciples were fishermen. So they went and they got in a boat, and it was evening. Most of the fishermen worked at night, so it wasn't so hot. Maybe a couple of guys did decide they would fish. This fish in the cold doesn't cast. Maybe sitting around just chatting and laughing and, hey, remember that time Jesus did that thing? Or do you remember that story he told? And Jesus, though, he had a better idea what he was going to do while they were fishing. And the disciples, they hadn't even really realized that he hadn't joined in, that he didn't, they used nets, not poles, that he hadn't helped drop the net, that he wasn't sitting and talking with them. But all of a sudden, a big storm rolled in. And the wind was blowing really, really hard. Can you guys be wind? And the waves were really big. Show me big, big waves. These are normal waves. Big, big waves. And it was raining, and the boat was rocking back and forth and back and forth. And maybe their tummies were starting to hurt from that. And they were getting really scared because there was water coming into the boat from the big, big waves. Can I see the big, big waves? And the wind was blowing the water in. Whoosh, whoosh. And they were really scared. And they looked around for Jesus. He was in the back of the boat, asleep. Now, I imagine he kind of looked like this. I think he had a blanket. I think he had a little snuggly toy with him, kept it in his pocket. Jesus was just sleeping. And the disciples shook him and they woke him up. What happens when you wake up? You wake a little bit. And they said, how can you sleep at a time like this? We are about to die. Jesus woke up. Yeah, maybe he looked around. He was confused because he was asleep on a boat. He rubbed his eyes maybe, and then he noticed there was a storm. I don't think Jesus had to put glasses on. And he looks and he says, peace, be still. And right away, just like that, the wind stopped blowing. And the big waves, they went back to normal waves. And everything calmed down. And he looked at the disciples. He said, guys, why were you so scared? I was right here with you. What happened to your faith? Now, the Bible doesn't say this part, but I imagine Jesus got back in his little spot that was so comfy for him. And he lay back down, and he went back to sleep. Because he wasn't scared. The disciples were surprised and amazed. Can I see surprised faces? And they looked at each other, and they were confused too. Confused faces. That who is this that even the wind and the sea obey him? They still weren't sure if Jesus was God's son yet. What Jesus said to the storm, peace, be still, it makes me think of a verse in the Psalms. It's the one on my shirt. Psalm 46, the first part says, be still and know. Do you guys remember that when we did breath prayers way back? And the rest of the sentence is that I am God. So maybe Jesus was trying to give them a hint. He was dropped a little bit of an Easter egg in there. So if they remembered the rest of that, if they heard him say, be still, maybe they'd remember and know that I am God. Maybe. I don't know. But, right, he could have just got up and he could have said, knock it off, storm. He used certain words. And peace, be still. And know that I am God, I think was the secret part. So the disciples, they were reminded of a very important lesson that day. And Jesus was with them, even when scary things are happening. They didn't have to be scared. We can remember that too, right? Jesus is always with us in our boats, trying to help keep us calm when things are hard, when things are scary. We have to remember to let him calm us down, right? Sometimes that can be the tricky part. And I think he also wanted them to remember to take time to rest and be with Him, be with Jesus. Having Jesus in our boat makes me think of a song. Mr. Ben, would you share the song Miss Amy sent us now?
Gotta have Jesus in your boat. Gotta learn to trust in Him alone. When the world is crashing to and fro, gotta have Jesus in your boat. Storms may come and the winds may blow. Gotta have Jesus in your boat. But we know Jesus has control. Gotta have Jesus in your boat. Gotta have Jesus in your boat. Gotta learn to trust in Him alone. When the world is crashing to and fro, gotta have Jesus in your boat. Waves are high and the nights are cold. Gotta have Jesus in your boat. But we know Jesus won't let go. Gotta have Jesus in your boat. Gotta have Jesus in your boat. Gotta learn to trust in Him alone. When the world is crashing to and fro, gotta have Jesus in your boat.
Yay! Thank you both for sharing that. That was awesome. I like the boat. Well, y'all, it looks like I might have to help Darling repack and pack for myself still. So, let's say a prayer before we go. Let's start it with our breath prayer. Do you guys remember how to do a breath prayer? We breathe in and we say one part of the verse. We breathe out and we say the next. So let's do the be still one again. Be still and know that I am God. Right? I'm going to try that a couple times. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. And that helps us feel calm, right? Dear God, we thank you that you are with us in our boats when they're smooth sailing and when they're rocky and rough seas. And we thank you that you remind us to rest, just like you did. That you know that it's important to take a break, to enjoy nature, to enjoy our friends. Be with us all this week, wherever we are, and bring us all safe back together again next time. Amen. Bye!